Okay, so it seems like there's recently been quite a lot of VTuber Twitter drama going on at the moment, all surrounding one clip, which has been pretty popular. And this is the one VTuber that essentially made this post, chachachilla. And yeah, essentially they called out almost an entire agency, well, more so some members of an agency, being the Socks agency, which we have covered kind of slightly. I think they had an issue with YouTube at one point, or Twitch or something like that, which we essentially covered. But yeah, they have a couple of members, and again, I think they are an up-and-coming kind of agency that is also owned by Flork, who, if you don't know, Flork obviously makes a lot of the comics and stuff, with, you know, this guy up in the top there. So again, you guys could probably see how they're kind of involved and everything like that. And well, recently I saw this tweet which came out, and essentially this was the thing that is kind of blown up. It's got over 406,000 views to 62 likes. I think you guys can see exactly where this is going, but essentially this VTuber tried to call out some of the people that have been interacting with them. I believe it was on a recent Minecraft SMP, and essentially they say, I tried to talk to Flork about one of his talents having a habit of calling people inferior and how that can seem to disabled people. Which, first of all, is absolutely insane. And they go on to say, however, he blocked me and said not to bring up my personal issues with his talents. I believe calling somebody inferior is demeaning, as it's historically used context. Adfried VT called us that. If you support Socks Agency, aka SVA, this is what you're supporting. So, essentially, this is supposed to be some kind of big call-out post and trying to, like, cancel them or whatever. And I'm sure what they were kind of hoping was for this to blow up in the other direction, where people are like, yeah, screw this agency, we hate them, etc, etc, etc. But it seems like this heavily backfired, as a lot of people were just like, what do you mean? Like, seriously, but like, honestly, do you seriously have a problem with someone calling someone else inferior? Now, obviously, there is something to kind of note. This is a Minecraft SMP. A lot of the time, there is stuff like, role-playing and stuff going on. So a lot of time, some people are just playing a character. But regardless, even if you're not playing a character, right, calling somebody inferior is not offensive. It's not kind of, this weird thing, towards like disabled people, right? I don't know why they're trying to act like it's some kind of like slur or something that is going on. Again, people have called people inferior for whatever reason, right? Inferior is just another word. Someone could be inferior at, a video game. Someone could be inferior at something in particular, right? And that could be true. It's not like some derogatory term for somebody who's like disabled or something like that. And I think, it's totally fine to call anybody inferior. And if you get upset by that, honestly, I think you are kind of soft, right? I think that, you can't really handle a lot of kind of criticism or a lot of, I guess, words in general, which I think is pretty crazy. And that's why a lot of people have responded pretty heavily back to this, Even there's been a community note as well saying, inferior is used in this situation as a note against the opposing team's skill or ranking, not as a note on this person's disability. Inferior is a standard adjective meaning lower in rank, status, or quality, and is used in many contexts not related to disability. Now, yeah, obviously, let's just play the clip as well, which they put up as like the kind of in quotation marks proof. Here it is.
I literally almost died in the first like 2 minutes.
So that's the small clip there.
I literally almost died in the first like 2 minutes.
They're inferior, we're just better. That's what they're saying there. And again, I think that is totally fine to say. You can say that in like a lot of contexts, and especially in something like Minecraft, where you're going to be fighting, or maybe there's like factions or something like that, saying someone's inferior, there's an inferior faction, there's an inferior person at the game. That's totally like normal. Now, sure, if you went up to a disabled person and said, you're inferior, sure, that would be pretty, kind of, what do you call it, like, rude. It wouldn't be nice, and obviously, yeah, it would be kind of offensive to that disabled person, but they're not doing that, Obviously, there are certain contexts and certain ways that many words, not just inferior, can be used to people, right? And, sure, some of it can be offensive, but it doesn't mean the word itself is offensive, like, in general, whenever using it in general. So, again, I thought that was pretty crazy, and obviously, as well, the going into like Flork's DMs, obviously, Flork being the owner of Socks Agency, right? And they called out Ad-Free TV specifically, this person here, who apparently was saying it, and they went to Flork, the CEO of the company, to essentially say, hey, I don't like what this person in your company's doing. I think that's also extremely weird, I think that, if you wanted to have a real chat about it, maybe talk to the talent directly. I don't know why it's Flork's business to do something. If you were contacting, them, personally about it, I think you're kind of, you know, the end goal that you really want is for them to get kicked out of the agency or something. You have like an ulterior motive rather than getting it fixed, right? Or rather than finding some kind of answer, because you're not going straight to the person who said it. You're going straight to the, you know, owner of the company who obviously has the power to get rid of talent and stuff. And I'm pretty sure that's what they were trying to get out of it, right? And here we go. You can see they put my DMs of Flork. As you can see, he does not seem to think this is an issue, which, yeah, 100%. You know, Flork is totally in the, you know, right here saying, don't DM me again, trying to get my talent in trouble. This is a personal matter between you two. Ad-free blocked you because they do not want to contact with you anymore. That matter is settled. So, yeah, obviously, that is totally fine. I think, you know, Ad-free apparently blocked them afterwards, after they kind of crashed out and this kind of stuff, and she's totally within her right to do that, because again, you know, there's nothing wrong with calling somebody inferior, you know, in a context especially like this, right? And obviously other people saying, we'd like to add in case she deletes it, Camazol is in complete support of people. So again, trying to kind of draw more people in from the company into this, essentially saying all of these people are bad people for saying this, and this is why you should hate them, right? Which I think is absolutely crazy, right? There is even more, by the way. Obviously, they're going to say all of these replies aren't in roleplay, by the way. They're in support of ad-free. This is the type of audience that she wants. Which, again, is crazy, just for calling someone inferior, you know? Said they called me the Arsler Lamau, but none of them are ableist. Like, seriously, it's not that big of a deal, right? That I wanted to apologize. I wanted an apology from ad-free. That's all I wanted. I never expected them to double and triple down on supporting this behavior. I don't think they're like, well, obviously they are double and tripling down on it, but I think honestly what they're doing is telling you, hey man, it's really not that big of a deal. I'm not going to apologize for something that, you know, they didn't do wrong. You're not going to apologize for something that you personally think that you didn't do wrong, right? And, you know, obviously other people from SVA saying a habit, a 3-second clip is a habit where the person isn't seen, the word was spoken in roleplay based around factions fighting in a war. Exactly, that's what I said. I haven't even seen the SMP, and I said, oh, it's probably to do something with like factions and stuff. And I already knew that from that 3-second clip, right? And they said, yeah, against one another. Wilders were also making comments against other teams. That's how it works. What's unprofessional is approaching Flork as he did, purely trying to get ad-free in some sort of trouble. Which, yeah, is true. You know, she could have went and talked it out with ad-free or something, and obviously maybe she tried to, and that's why she ended up getting blocked. But then you just kind of go, oh, okay, fine, I'll just leave it, you know? You don't then go to the CEO of the company and try to get them in even more trouble and try to get them, like, fired or something like that, which I think is absolutely crazy. And, you know, Addy was supposed to know that you're disabled. How? Whether this is her or not, the person speaking about the faction, was speaking about the faction. It was not aimed at you. It was not aimed at disabilities. It was in a role-playing server, which, yeah, 100% is true. And, you know, obviously, you know, more people kind of commenting on it as well, too. And I think, yeah, obviously, you know, all of these people were definitely in the right, and I think this VTuber is definitely in the wrong here, with, yeah, as I said, only 69 likes out of 400,000 views. Which is absolutely insane, right? And obviously then we go on to Flork's response to all of this kind of stuff, saying, yes, I did snap out of you in DMs because you were told not to contact me anymore prior to this. Lucia's team investigated the piece of evidence that you showed them regarding the ad-free, and it was not even them speaking, it's not even them speaking, video included, so it wasn't even ad-free. That's crazy. Okay, they said their team there gave you the statement on what was happening. It was roleplay. It was roleplay in a Minecraft faction roleplay. And I will wholeheartedly back my talent that they did no wrong, especially in a 4-second out of context clip you showed originally. And obviously they showed the full clip here.
Guys, they're like, yeah, what's happening with that?
Are a little smaller.
Dude, that's gonna, oh my god, hard.
I was never a wilder, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's true. I never treating guys.
They're wild.
So yeah, obviously that's what they were talking about there. And that's some of the added context here. Also, Flork follows up by saying, you also stated here other people do it, so why focus on me / SVA? Was it because I told you not to message me any longer as of early October? So obviously Flork then goes to reveal the fact that, hey, you know, they've actually been kind of not been too happy with the agency for quite a while now. Not just this SMP thing. This SMP thing didn't just like kind of spark everything and that was it. That's why she's so mad. It seems like this has been a, you know, deep lying thing for a little while now. And yeah, they haven't been too happy with SVA, and it could be a potential, you know, opportunity that they saw to try and take them down, I guess, right? Obviously, massively backlash, massively failed. Listen, we knew you're going to do this because you did this before to other people. I knew you were going to drop this late. Maybe you thought I'd be asleep so you could get the edge on me. I specifically stayed up because we knew you were going to do this. I don't know why the focus on me so hard, especially if your problem was ad-free. I don't want anything to do with you. Honestly, do you think I'd stick up for... honestly, do you not think I'd stick up for anyone in my agency? Come on, before you went into my DMs to try to get me to punish her like a school kid, I knew what was going on. So yeah, obviously 100%, you know, they, you know, Flork is doing the good thing there in terms of, you know, sticking by her talent, but it was his talent or their talent. I don't know exactly what the kind of, you know, who they are as a person, but essentially sticking by their talent, right? And, you know, kind of backing them up, because they should always back them up. Sure, if they get presented evidence, they can investigate it, and then sure, then some action can be taken, right? But, you know, I don't think, you know, a CEO, it's a bad thing for a CEO just to go, oh yeah, you're 100% right, let's screw this person up, which I think is, yeah, pretty crazy. And yeah, I don't know what they were expecting whenever they messaged them, because again, a good CEO, a good person in charge of this agency would stick by the talent, which is what Flork did. Obviously, they said, actually, that's not what you said. I said, that's pretty clear. Clearly, don't message me anymore. Obviously, said, best of luck. I said, yeah, hi, Chacha. I will admit, I'm a little uncomfortable with your message right now. I've been extremely busy because of corpo work and other work. Though earlier in the year, I had more time, so I was able to message a bit more freely. I've not had the free time lately. Me not consistently DMing you is not a personal thing. However, because of this, I'm not sure I'm comfortable to keep up communication, which essentially just means don't DM me, please, right? I mean, I think we can all tell that, you know, I'm not comfortable with you messaging me. Like, again, that's pretty obvious, right? Again, there's one more quote retweet as well, which came from another talent from the Sox agency, and they say, oh hey, it's the person who kept following me all around Offkai after I told them to stop and had to warn security over her. The person who was overstepping my boundaries and touching my arm in comfort over and over when I told them not to touch me, and spoke at me like I was less than them. Saying I was so brave for going to Offkai as a trans person rather than talking to me like a normal person. You don't get to play the victim when you've hurt and disrespected so many people, and many know about your PL and the terrible things you've done there too. All I can do is wish you find the help that you need. Step away from the internet, find professional help, and breathe. Maybe the world will be brighter for you one day, where you don't need to validate your existence by trying to bring others down. Which, yeah, obviously is another crazy bombshell as well. Obviously, a lot of people have been kind of, you know, hearting that and everything, and essentially supporting them, which obviously is great. Like, a lot of people have been supporting Sox. It's like in all support their way, and nobody's really been backing up Chacha here, because again, it's an absolutely ridiculous case, an absolutely ridiculous attempt to try and bring them down, when honestly, you know, that's not going to work at all. And yeah, I think that at the end of the day, this has been a pretty ridiculous kind of situation, right? And it gets even worse with obviously Flork revealing that, you know, this has been a thing that's been going on for a little while now, and also some of their kind of interactions with some of the members at Offkai, with them overstepping boundaries, having like security like warned about them, and constantly telling them to stop doing stuff, which they kept doing, which obviously is absolutely terrible for that talent, right? So again, I just kind of wanted to cover this because I thought it's a pretty crazy situation with a ton of responses. And I mean, so many people have been talking about this in the quotes as well. You know, people are saying, you know, you're soft. A lot of people saying, I'm the staff member who personally handled Chacha's ticket regarding this matter. I feel it's important to clarify the timeline. So again, they further clarified the timeline and everything like that, which goes on, which obviously is useful information. And yeah, so many people, again, are absolutely you're going crazy over this. And yeah, I can understand it, because again, this is such a non-issue, and them trying to make an issue out of this just seems like it, you know, it seems like it's malicious, right? It seems like they're trying to purposefully go after this company, purposely go after some of these talent, including Adfree and some of these other people as well. And yeah, it's just kind of ridiculous that this has even happened in the first place. But yeah, I thought I'd give you guys a little rundown of exactly what's gone on, because I know there's a lot of tweets that have been going around all over the place. But yeah, essentially, that is it for now. If there's any updates, I'll obviously keep you guys up to date with everything that is going on. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kazza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.